Hey everybody, it's Tara Green here. I want to talk about the Sagittarius Super Galactic Strawberry Full Moon. It's a super moon, June the 14th, 2022 at 7:52 a.m. That's Eastern Daylight Time. So I have taken the chart here. I know it looks complicated, and I've redrawn in the lines, the stress lines, the sacred geometry between the planets here so you can see it clearer. And I've also added a bunch of major fixed stars which are prominent during this very cosmic super full moon in Sag. Now, being a Sag myself, I love this kind of thing. So the sun, I'm going to talk about those fixed stars. A full moon is always in opposition of the sun to the moon. So the sun is in Gemini. You can see it there at 23 degrees, opposite the moon in Sag at 23 degrees Sagittarius. Now, the main thing here, actually, because it is a super moon, is that the moon is conjunct the galactic center, which is the big black hole at the center of our galaxy. So this is very much an alert to tune into that cosmic yoni, which is the wormhole. It is the black hole at the center of our galaxy. They've just been able to start taking pictures of these things. And so the Mayans believe that it was a gateway that all souls entered and exited through that place. That's partly what 2012 and the Mayan, end of time thing was all about. It was mainly about that. So very galactic time to tune in. Now, the sun and the moon both are in pretty much an exact square to Neptune. So Neptune in Pisces at 25 degrees there, it's the planet of spirituality. It's the planet of illusion. It's the planet of delusion. It's the planet of fake news. It's the planet of, romanticism and higher ideals and searching for your soulmate and, like literally wishing upon stars. It's Neptune rules Pisces. It's been in its own sign since 2011. So Neptune in Pisces, it's not about the ego at all. So this is an extremely spiritually cosmic, fulfilling full moon, a completion phase where we're asking, where have we come to in our spiritual growth? The big black hole is like the giant rabbit hole. You have to go into the big black hole and kind of die. That's Neptune, Pisces, like the hangman in the tarot. Surrender your ego to find out what your source is. Neptune and Pisces is the source. It is the end. It's the 12th sign. It's the last sign. It's the end of spirit. It's the beginning of rebirth. It's going back to source. Pisces is the sign of Jesus. The Christ symbol, its myth is about the beginning of the age of Pisces. The symbol is the fishes. It's Pisces. It's always all about astrology. So very creative time, great for meditation, great for visualization, great for expanding your psychic energy, your telepathy. It will definitely open your third eye. Sagittarius is the sign of truth. It's the sign of justice. It's the sign of, asking those big questions. Why are we here? What is my cosmic purpose? What is the meaning of all this? And also having some humor. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, having some humor, having some optimism, having faith. And Pisces is the sign of faith, ruled by Jupiter traditionally and Sagittarius. So having some faith, some hope, some optimism that there'll be light at the end of the tunnel. And the tarot, Pisces is the sign of the moon, number 18, the moon, the dark side of the moon. And that's what that card is all about. Now, Jupiter, the great big planet himself, Zeus, Yahweh, Jove, he is at 5 degrees of Aries, and he is squaring Lilith. I'm just going to describe these aspects. So there's something about this, the negated feminine, who she was like thrown in a black hole and kind of forgotten. She is in the 12th house. This chart is set for Washington, D.C. It's not in the 12th house in every location, of course, but in this chart and in any chart, never mind where you are, Jupiter and Lilith are in square to each other. Lilith is in the sign of Cancer, which is the sign of the mother, and she's the death-bringing mother. So this describes Jupiter as the law-bringer, the sacred law-bringer, the legal issues around abortion. Lilith rules abortion. Jupiter is also squaring Ceres, the great mother. And Ceres, the great mother, is at 12 degrees of Cancer, which is right where the U.S. sun is. So the issues around mothers, around children. Jupiter in Aries. Aries is the sign of the warrior, guns. So, the debate in the States right now about, those poor children that were killed in the massacre in Texas and the people that were killed in Buffalo and the mass shootings that go on everywhere in the U.S. That's Aries energy, ruled by Mars. Mars is in Aries. We'll get there in a second. So the debates about protecting children, Ceres is connected to the biggest, brightest star in the sky, which is Sirius, which is connected to the Egyptian myth of Isis and Osiris. And, she puts her dead husband, Osiris, back together with his penis, right? She reanimates him, which is a symbol that she's a kind of self-creating goddess. But anyway, Ceres, the great mother, people are seeking emotional nurturing. They need healing. They need to feel safe. People need to feel emotionally safe right now, in this crazy Neptunian, who knows what the hell is going on. But Neptune in Pisces can also be the revealer if you are connected to your own inner wisdom, and that Jupiter, revealer of truth, new truths. So an uncovering, in a way, of new ideas, new energy. Jupiter in Aries is spontaneous, it's aggressive, it's competitive, it's impatient. There's no patience around. That's in the most short supply, and the supply chain is patience these days. So there's Mars, the ruler of Aries, exactly conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer, at 15 degrees of Aries. Now, every planet at the 15th degree, which is the middle of the 30 degrees on each side, is like the wave, right? So Mars and Chiron together are at their maximum, okay? So Mars rules Aries, so Mars is really strong. He just wants to go to war. He wants to defend. He's just not going to think. He's just going to do. So everything about war starting, or people fighting, or aggressiveness, again, guns. Aries is the sign of the warrior, so guns, fire. It's fire. Anything that fires. So it's quite a dangerous energy to have Chiron and Mars together. Just before actually the full moon, they come together. And the woundedness, Chiron, the wounded healer, he is a centaur, just like Sagittarius. So this very centaurian energy here. He's half human. He has a human body to his torso, and then he has a horse body. So it symbolizes the human, the consciousness over the animal instincts. And so Chiron, the wounded healer, is very defensive, but also it's where the greatest healing is. Okay, so we need to get in touch with behind the anger. Mars is the anger, is grief. Okay, sadness. So touching tenderly and opening up a space to heal the anger, the sadness, the grief. Cancer would be water signs, mourning, grieving mothers. So it's a very interesting energy. And then what else have we got here? Saturn, speaking of fathers there, Saturn at 25 degrees of Aquarius is trining. That's a good positive aspect to the sun, and sextiling the moon. So they're all connected to Saturn. Saturn just turned retrograde. Saturn in Aquarius wants to take the big overview. It's scientific, it's detached. So it rules technology, cryptocurrencies, which are having a big hard time right now, and the fathers, the patriarchs. So, the mothers, the moon, is informing. They want justice, they want truth, they want honesty, they want transparency, and all of that's going to come up over this lunation. Okay, Mercury is at 0 degrees of Gemini. So when a planet is at 0 degrees, they're a new beginning. Now, Mercury was retrograde, of course. We all remember that horrible Mercury retrograde from Gemini to Taurus. Now it's back in Gemini again. The north node of the moon, the highest spiritual goal, is at 22 degrees Taurus, conjunct Algol, which is the demon star. It's connected to Athena and Venus. So Athena is the warrior goddess. Venus is the goddess of love. She's in her home sign. So Venus is very strong in one of her home signs of Taurus. Mars is very strong in his home sign of Aries. So these personal planets, and we all have these, let's call them polarities. Mars is the active polarity. Venus would be the receptive polarity in Taurus, are at their strengths. And then Uranus, the planet of unexpected chaos, innovation, breaking free, freedom in Taurus, rules the bull market, of course, cryptocurrencies. They're all conjunct. So there's definitely, we need to go towards that north node in Taurus. We need to stay grounded. We need to stay practical. So Pluto is trining in a wide trine to the north node at 28 degrees of Capricorn. It's also retrograde. And, you know, Pluto has almost finished his journey of totally destroying Capricorn corporate structure, giving it power. It's a power struggle that's going on at a massive level. The plutocrats trying to control everything. And, you know, of course, this is still the time of the U.S. first Pluto return. The next actual hit is July the 11th, not that long off. And then right at the end of December, I believe it's December 28th. So this whole year for the U.S. represents a rebirth, a return to what was the U.S. when it was founded. And so all of this informs this whole new moon. Now, Juno, the feminine form of genius, is at 16 degrees of Pisces. She looks like a little star. The month of June is named in her honor. She has usually to do with marriages traditionally, but she is kind of this multi-dimensional ability to have genius. Jupiter was considered the masculine form of genius. Juno was his wife. So she is trining Ceres. She is squaring the sun. Squares are not bad, they're good. And she's pretty close to Neptune. She's a bit far away, but she's still there. What else have we got here? So I've got marked these fixed stars that the points in the chart are aligned to. The south node is connected to one called Unuk. The moon is connected to the galactic center. Saturn is connected to one called Deneb al-Jib, I believe. And Mars and Chiron are one called Alpheratz. And Mercury is connected to one called Alnilam, which is one of the stars in Orion's belt. So the 3 stars of Orion's belt, that's Alnilam. And then, what else have we got here? There's something else here. All right, so those stars, you can see the planets that are connected to that. Let's just keep it simple. So the sun, Mercury, the north node, Mars and Chiron, Neptune, Saturn, and the moon and the south node are all on these fixed stars, and these fixed stars are like very powerful energies. I'm going to write about them, so you can go look them up, but I would really advise that you be outside during this full moon. It is a time of completion. In the northern hemisphere here, it's summerish. I'm out in Picton, I'm out in the country, it's cool. But get outside, light a bonfire. You want to light fire, it's Sagittarius. Come on, baby, light my fire. Ask for inspiration, ask for cosmic truth. Jupiter, the leader, the ruler of Sagittarius, is about spiritual law. You want to know what's going on in the spiritual law, not man-made law, so you can understand deeper what's going on. And use your feminine form of intuition to see and, you know, balance out all the different possibilities. You know, with Juno there, remember, you might be feeling quite lost in a way. Neptune diffuses your ego, but if you propitiate Neptune, you know, be by water, make water offerings, meditate, you know, devote yourself to a spiritual practice. That would be really, really important right now. So wishing you all the best blessings. If you want to get in touch with me, I'm at tarot.com. If you want to find out how this full moon affects you, that's how to get in touch with me. Okay, blessings.